नमस्कार, आप सभी का बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। आप देख रहे हैं eVidya चैनल नंबर 6 और NCERT का ऑफिशियल यूट्यूब चैनल। आप सभी का स्वागत करती हूँ मैं रेणु भट्ट अपने इस लाइव इंटरैक्टिव फोन इन सेशन में, जिसमें हम बात करने वाले हैं मैथ्स के 6th स्टैंडर्ड के स्टूडेंट्स के लिए। और आज का हमारा टॉपिक है अलजेब्रा पार्ट 1। इस पर आपको डिटेल में जानकारी देंगी हमारे एक्सपर्ट जो हमारे साथ स्टूडियो में मौजूद हैं। लेट्स मीट हर। आप श्रीमती स्वर्णलता शर्मा हैं, आप TGT गणित हैं और राष्ट्रीय पुरस्कार से सम्मानित शिक्षक हैं। मैम, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। और हम
हेलो
जी, और अपने सभी देखने वालों को बता दें कि मैम डॉक्टर राजेंद्र प्रसाद केंद्रीय विद्यालय प्रेसिडेंट स्टेट्स नई दिल्ली से हैं। बच्चों, आपके मन में कोई भी सवाल आ रहा हो, सभी विद्यार्थियों से हम कह रहे हैं कि अलजेब्रा के बारे में आप कुछ जानना चाहते हैं तो आप बेझिझक अपने सभी क्वेरीज के साथ हमसे जुड़ सकते हैं। आप हमें कॉल कर सकते हैं हमारे टेलीफोन नंबर पर जो है 8800 440 559, या फिर आप हमें ईमेल करेंगे। हमारा ईमेल एड्रेस है dth.class6@ciet.nic.in। अगर आप हमारे YouTube चैनल पर हैं तो आप लाइव चैट बॉक्स पर जाके अपना कमेंट ड्रॉप कर सकते हैं। ये सबसे तेज़ माध्यम है हमसे जुड़ने का, और हम चाहते हैं कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा क्वेरीज के साथ आप हमसे जुड़ें। और इससे पहले कि हम ये सत्र शुरू करें, लेट मी शेयर अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पीस ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन विद यू ऑल रिगार्डिंग इंडियाज़ G20 presidency. We are indeed very proud that India assumed G20 presidency and will convene the G20 Leaders Summit for the first time in the country in 2023. A nation that deeply committed to democracy and multilateralism, India's G20 presidency would be a watershed moment in her history as it seeks to play an important role by finding pragmatic global solutions for the well-being of all. And in doing so, manifest the true spirit of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, or we can say the whole world is one family. With that very important piece of information, let's quickly get back to this session, जिसमें हम बात करेंगे मैथ्स के 6th स्टैंडर्ड के स्टूडेंट्स के लिए, और हम मैम से जानकारी लेंगे अलजेब्रा के बारे में। और मैम के पास ढेर सारी चीज़ें बच्चों आप सभी के साथ शेयर करने के लिए। मैम, क्या कुछ स्पेशल है आपके पास हमारे बच्चों के लिए?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल रेणु जी, आज हम नया चैप्टर शुरू करने वाले हैं जिसका नाम है अलजेब्रा। और बच्चे इसमें जानेंगे कि अलजेब्रा में हम क्या पढ़ते हैं। ठीक है, हम कॉन्स्टेंट्स के बारे में सीखेंगे, वेरिएबल्स के बारे में सीखेंगे, हम कुछ एक्टिविटीज़ भी करेंगे। तो वी आर गोइंग टू एंजॉय द सेशन। ठीक है बच्चों?
श्योर मैम।
सो लेट्स स्टार्ट।
जी,
we have here so far children, we have learnt in arithmetic that the number system and the symbols like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9 with which we can write numbers. We have also studied calculations with the 4 basic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication and division, right? Now we are going to study a new branch of mathematics called as algebra. Algebra is generalized arithmetic in which numbers are represented by letters known as literal numbers or literals. Since literals are also numbers children, they obey all the rules of addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Besides using these numerals, we will learn to use letters. Example A, B, X, Y, Z and so on. These letters or literals are used to generalize results or to denote unknown quantities. Let us see how. See, in algebra we come across 2 types of symbols, namely constants and variables. A symbol having a fixed numerical value is known as a constant children, and a symbol which takes on various numerical values is known as a variable. Let us understand this first. We know that if we multiply any number by 1, the answer is the number itself, right Renu ji?
Yes,
suppose I multiply 3 by 1, obviously I will get 3. And 10 multiplied by 1 will give me again same number 10. 7 multiplied by 1 will give me 7. This can be written as b multiplied by 1 is equal to b, where b is any number. Instead of using b, we can use any other letter, right children? Now similarly, we know that if we multiply any number by 0, the answer is always 0. That is the power of 0, right? 17 multiplied by 0 is equal to 0. 23 multiplied by 0 is again 0 and so on. So we can write m multiplied by 0 is equal to 0, where m is any number. In the above cases, children, we have used two formulae or generalized results. Now, let us consider b multiplied by 1 is equal to b. Here the value of b is not fixed, it could be any number, right. The value of b can vary or change, and so it is known as a variable. What can vary is known as a variable. The value of 1 is fixed, so it is called as a constant. Okay. I hope you understand the idea of variable and constant now. Okay. Now, how do you write down algebraic terms using this constants and variables? If we write the sum of two constants, for example 4 plus 3, we can give it a value that is 7. When we have the sum of a variable and a constant, for example y and 7, we can write it as y plus 7. Okay. If we cannot simplify it further nor give it any fixed value unless we have a value of y. Yes children, you can understand this. If I change the value of y, the value of y plus 7 is obviously going to change. Here, if we subtract a constant from another constant, we get a fixed value. For example, 4 minus 1 is equal to 3. If we subtract a variable from a constant, say y from 5, we write it as 5 minus y. This cannot be further simplified. If 5 is subtracted from y, what will we write? We will write it as y minus 5. Okay. Now, let us do some questions to understand this. Find a rule which gives the number of matchsticks required to make the following matchstick patterns. Use a variable to write down the rule. Let us see this children. We have made this alphabet T with the help of two matchsticks. We have one matchstick and this is another matchstick. So, how many matchsticks we are using children?
2.
2, right. So, if I have to make so many 2s, I have to make a rule to write down how many matchsticks I will require, Renuji, hai na?
Yes.
So, the rule will be 2 multiplied by n children, right. Suppose I have to write down 10 T's. So, how many I will require? 2 multiplied by 10, that means I will require 20 matchsticks to write down T's. Okay. Now, let us see another alphabet here. We have U. For writing U, how many matchsticks we are using? 1, 2, 3. So, the rule will become 3 multiplied by n. Okay children. Now, we have V. V is written with the help of 2 matchsticks. So, the rule will be 2n, where n is for number of matchsticks. Same way we have E here, 1, 2, 3 and this is 4th matchstick. So, what will be the rule? It will be 4n. 4 multiplied by n, that is 4n. Alright. I hope you have understood this rule children. Right. Now, shall we proceed further, Renuji?
Sure ma'am.
Yeah. So, we have here cadets are marching in a parade. This is another question, very interesting. There are 5 cadets in a row. What is the rule which gives the number of cadets given the number of rows? Use n as the number of rows. Okay. Let n be the number of rows and number of cadets in a row is already given to us, that is 5. So, total number of cadets will be how much children? Number of cadets in a row multiplied by number of rows. Is it equal to 5 multiplied by n? Yes, 5n. Okay. Now, let us see another question. If there are 50 mangoes in a box, how will you write the total number of mangoes in terms of the number of boxes? We are supposed to use B for the number of boxes. Okay. So, let us start. Let B be the number of boxes. So, number of mangoes in a box will be equal to 50, which is given to us already. So, total number of mangoes, how we can find out? It is number of mangoes in a box multiplied by number of boxes. So, shall I write it as 50 multiplied by B?
Right.
Okay, 50B. That is, we have how many number of mangoes? 50 multiplied by B. Let us look into another question. The teacher distributes 5 pencils per student. Can you tell how many pencils are needed given the number of students? Use S for the number of students. Let S be the number of students. Pencils given to each student by the teacher is 5. It is mentioned in the question. So, total number of pencils will be how many? Number of pencils given to each student multiplied by number of students. So, shall I write it as 5 into S, that is 5S. Okay. I hope you understand the pattern now. Let us see the next question here. A bird flies 1 kilometer in 1 minute. Can you express the distance covered by a bird in terms of its flying time in minutes? Use T for the flying time in minutes. Here children, let the flying time be T minutes. So, the distance covered in 1 minute is how much? 1 kilometer. So, in order to find out the distance covered in T minutes, what will I do? I will multiply the T with 1. So, I will get as T kilometers. Okay children, we have here another question for you which says Radha is drawing a dot Rangoli, that is a beautiful pattern of lines joining dots with chalk powder. She has 9 dots in a row. How many dots will her Rangoli have for R rows? Next question, how many dots are there if there are 8 rows? Another question in the same question, if there are 10 rows, I am supposed to mention how many dots are there. So, let us calculate one by one. We have here, how many dots are there in one row?
9.
9. Okay. Now, to answer the first part, let us assume number of rows to be R. Now, how many number of dots will be there in R rows? Obviously 9 multiplied by R Renuji, yes. Now let us see the next part. We require number of dots in 8 rows. So should I multiply by 9? 8 multiplied by 9 is 72 children. Now next one is, we are supposed to mention number of dots in 10 rows. So 10 multiplied by 9 will be equal to 90. Okay. So I hope it is clear. And now we have another interesting question. Leela is Radha's younger sister. Okay. Leela is 4 years younger than Radha. Can you write Leela's age in terms of Radha's age? Take Radha's age to be x years. Interesting, right? Let us try. Let's take Radha's age as x years. Now we are supposed to mention Leela's age. Leela's age is, as per the question given to us, that it is 4 years less than Radha's age. So shall I write Radha's age minus 4 years, right? So I can mention Radha's age as x, and so Leela's age will become x minus 4 years. Yes children, I hope it is clear to you. Now another question. Mother has made laddus. She gives some laddus to the guests and family members. Still 5 laddus remain. If the number of laddus mother gave away is L, how many laddus did she make? Can you guess children? How many? You have to just read the question very carefully. She made some laddus and she gave to the guests and family members, but she has still some laddus remaining with her. Okay. So, still how many laddus were remaining? 5. So, let us keep in mind and then write down the solution. Number of laddus given away are L and number of laddus remaining are 5. So, how many laddus will be left with her now? It will be L plus 5. Total number of laddus which she had made was L plus 5. Okay children? Now, we have another question. Oranges are to be transferred from larger boxes into smaller boxes. When a larger box is emptied, the oranges from it fill 2 smaller boxes and still 10 oranges remain outside. If the number of oranges in a small box are taken to be x, what is the number of oranges in the larger box? Okay. So, let us start now. Let us take the oranges, number of oranges in one small box to be equal to x. So, because there are 2 boxes, number of oranges in 2 small boxes will obviously be 2 into x. Okay children. Now, we have how many oranges to be left? Number of oranges left is 10. So, I have to find out what is the total number of oranges in a larger box. So, number of oranges in large box will be obviously 2x plus 10.
10.
Yes. Okay. Now, we have another interesting matchstick pattern here. Look at the following matchstick pattern of squares. The squares are not separate. Two neighboring squares have a common matchstick. Observe the patterns and find the rule that gives the number of matchsticks in terms of number of squares. Question is very interesting. This you can do in the form of an activity, children. You can yourself make these patterns. See here, rule that gives number of matchsticks. Here we are having 4 matchsticks. Okay, so we write down 4 here. In the next one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We are having 2 squares, Renuji, but we have only 7 matchsticks. So, we note down 7 here.
Right.
Okay. Here in the same way, we have made 3 squares. But you mind, we don't have 4 3s are 12 matchsticks. Nahi hai.
Right.
We have only 10 matchsticks. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and in the similar way we have made 4 squares here, and the matchsticks are how many? They are, till here we had 10 plus 3, so they are 13. We are supposed to write down the rule which will be used to find out how many matchsticks we will require for making more number of squares. Suppose
sorry, I am interrupting you. Let me tell you that we have only 5 more minutes left for this session, ma'am.
Sure, sure. I will wind up in 5 minutes. Don't worry. We have here 4 children, and to generate the rule, let us take x as number of box. So, if I write down 3 multiplied by number of box, so you require 3 matchsticks plus 1. If I take x as number of squares, so 1 square I have to make here. So, 3 multiplied by 1 will be 3 plus 1, that will give me 4. If I take x as 1, children, so 3 multiplied by 1 plus 1 will be equal to 4. Okay, let me use the same rule here. When I am taking x as 2, 3 multiplied by 2 plus 1, what is 6 plus 1? It is 7. In the similar pattern, let me take 3 multiplied by 3 plus 1. So, how much do I get? I get 10. Are you noticing the pattern? I had 4 matchsticks here, here 7, here 10. Let me try out this one now. 3 multiplied by, there are 4 squares. So, 3 4s are 12 plus 1. Yes, I get 13 matchsticks. So, what is the rule that gives us the number of matchsticks? It is 3 into x plus 1. Right, children? In the same way, we have another question. Let us see this also. We have figure gives us matchstick pattern of triangles, children. Find the general rule that gives us the number of matchsticks in terms of number of triangles. Okay, let us see here. Find the general rule that gives us number of matchsticks in terms of the number of triangles. Okay, here 1, 2, 3. There are 3 matchsticks. Here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 matchsticks. Here we have, apart from this, 2 more matchsticks we have put to get how many? 3 triangles, that is 7 matchsticks. In the same way, here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 matchsticks. Let us see what rule we can generate, children. Shall I write down this as 2x plus 1? Let us try. 2 multiplied by 1 will be 2 plus 1. Is it 3? Yes. Now, when I multiply this with 2, 2 into 2 is 4 plus 1, that gives me 5. Let me try for 3 number of triangles. 2 multiplied by 3 plus 1. 6 plus 1 is 7. And in the same way, 2 multiplied by 4. We have 4 triangles, children. 2 4s are 8 plus 1, that is equal to 9. So, what is the rule here? It is 2x plus 1. Okay, children, I hope you have understood this, and you can make yourself and try out. You will enjoy doing this activity. and we have very interesting riddle for you. Let's solve this. Renuji, we have 3x plus 2y plus z. It stands for, see these 3 upright arrows,
Okay.
plus 2 stars, plus 1 0. Now write an algebraic expression for 4 arrows,
Okay.
3 stars
Huh.
and 2 zeros. Sorry.
Okay. So, can we write 4x?
Very good.
Can we have the PPT on screen?
Plus 3y
3y's
plus 2.
plus
That is 2z.
z. Yes.
Okay. I hope it is clear.
Yeah, very much clear, ma'am.
Okay.
If I can answer this, then anyone can answer this.
Sure, sure. Now we have homework for you children. You may note down these 2 questions. There are 20 apples in a box. Find the rule which gives the number of apples needed to fill the box. Second question, write the following statements in algebraic expressions using the variable t for the number. First one, the sum of a number and 5. The number subtracted from 10. Third one, the product of a number and 20. Fourth one, a number divided by 6. Okay children, please try. I am sure you will be able to solve these questions.
I'm quite sure, ma'am, because you have explained all the algebraic numeration and equations so very well and beautifully explained by you. सभी हमारे जितने भी स्टूडेंट्स हैं बहुत अच्छे से ये होमवर्क करके आप सभी को देंगे और हम अपने सभी देखने वालों को बता दें कि आप ये होमवर्क हमें पहुंचाएंगे हमारे ईमेल एड्रेस पे जो है dth.class6@ciet.nic.in. And before I wrap up this session, let me thank our expert सोनलता मैम. आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया.
Thank you रेणु जी. Thank you viewers
कि आप हमारे स्टूडियो आए और आपने हमारे स्टूडेंट्स को इतने अच्छे तरीके से अलजेब्रिक ये चैप्टर बताया. थैंक यू सो वेरी मच डियर लर्नर्स एंड व्यूवर्स फॉर बीइंग विद अस थ्रू आउट दिस सेशन. और इससे पहले कि मैं ये सेशन वाइंड अप करूं, लेट मी शेयर अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पीस ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन रिगार्डिंग इंडियाज G20 presidency. We are indeed very proud that India assumed G20 presidency and will convene the G20 Leaders Summit for the first time in the country in 2023. A nation that deeply committed to democracy and multilateralism, India's G20 presidency would be a watershed moment in her history as it seeks to play an important role by finding pragmatic global solutions for the well-being of all. And in doing so, manifests the true spirit of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, or we can say the whole world is one family. With that very important piece of information, me Renu Bhatt is taking your leave, but you stay tuned to eVidya channels and NCERT official YouTube channel for more informative program. Our next session is a webinar. Be with us. Renu Bhatt is taking your leave. Namaskar.